From CR News, this is the Rapids Report with Talan Collins.
Good afternoon and welcome to a special ASB election edition of the Rapids Report, now just days away from Friday's Election Day. Talan is off this week. I'm Elijah Garon, and we're going to get right into this week's Rapid Roundtable. Joining me now are ASB Presidential Candidate and Junior Evelyn Pan, Vice Presidential Candidate and Junior Joey Ianello, ASB Secretary and Sophomore Eleanor Rice, who's running for re-election, and Creative Captain Greg Blau. Thank you guys. So why are you running for your positions, and then what are your qualifications for those positions?
I've been in ASB since freshman year, and this year I got the opportunity to be our activities coordinator, which means I got to plan spirit days, be behind the scenes planning spirit days, planning dances, making sure everything went smoothly with that, as well as some assemblies and running court, so like prom court, HOCO court, all of those fun things. And I was interested in being president because I think there's a lack of spirit around River, and I kind of want to bring that up, especially for my senior year. Just see the overall morale and community be built.
I'm qualified because, I was on exec this year, and I've just been around and done everything.
I really want to keep the organization that I have especially worked hard to keep this year going. And just really managing the school's funding and money and making sure that is officially organized and really just keeping that up.
I've helped organize a lot of the big events and just seeing how they run, and with that knowledge I want to just share my passion for the school.
Do you guys have any accomplishments other than experience that prove your qualifications?
This year kind of proves that I'm good and ready for presidency, I guess. I've been able to work closely on Execs Council with May and Emerson and planning these dances, and I've got to see how it works all behind the scenes and kind of the organization behind it all.
I feel that I did a pretty fair job as secretary this year, and so I think that's a great accomplishment of not losing track of any records and just doing a pretty sufficient job at that, and so I think I'm qualified for re-election.
Everyone here is an honor roll athlete, and I think that being around the school, being around different sports is something that shows our qualifications for our positions.
What are some problems here at River that you guys would like to address and hopefully make some changes about?
I think one of the main things we've talked about is the lack of spirit that River has had. Since my freshman year especially, it's decreased, and we kind of just want to bring that back and raise the overall morale around River to make it more enjoyable to be around.
Yeah, just making our assemblies better and making people get excited about things like dances, and we don't ever want to have to cancel one of those again, and I don't think we ever will.
Next year we're going to be focusing on the divide in the community especially, and how making sure that everyone feels included in ASB's actions and the events that we put on at the school.
I think you guys covered it, just attendance at spirit events and just overall school morale.
What are your guys' top priorities?
I think our number one priority would be engagement. Engagement from mostly the upperclassmen. We need to hold ourselves accountable. Not saying that we need to go to every single game, but just or sporting event, whatever events being held at River, just we need to be there as a school to support our peers and different clubs and stuff that are going on. So holding ourselves accountable, and as upperclassmen, we are being looked up to, whether we see it or not, by the underclassmen, and they're learning from us and taking on what we do. So our actions do matter. So coming to games, showing up to assemblies, being loud, all that spirit will come with the amount of engagement that's given from our student body.
All the upperclassmen have to show up to stuff and show spirit, because if they don't, the underclassmen will have no idea of what school spirit's like, and we also need to improve our advertisement so we get the maximum participation.
Yeah, definitely leading by example and pushing for that engagement. just to show everyone that being involved in your school is a good thing and it's not embarrassing or whatever misconceptions might happen around the community.
But I think one thing we can also focus on is emphasizing student input outside of the ASB class on like spirit days or any games we play at assemblies or just all of that fun stuff.
So do you guys have any specific plans for getting the upperclassmen to show up and get those people excited to have school spirit? And also, what are your guys' plans for those advertisements that you mentioned?
As an upperclassman next year, Joey and I are both seniors. We've seen the lack of spirit, so we are kind of like we're not hungry for, but we're like ready to see the change. And I think in ASB there's a lot of seniors. We're very senior heavy, so just as ASB members we have to hold ourselves accountable, and kind of it's a ripple effect if we show other people that as ASB members we're participating in our own spirit days and we're showing up to sporting events or going to special events that are hosted from River, like dances. It'll bring more people to these events and like improve the engagement.
ASB is just ready to absolutely pour their hearts out to make school spirit better and just be great examples.
We're really going to focus on making sure that the student body takes ASB seriously this year, because a lot of the things that we push out, a lot of the things that we advertise, a lot of the like assemblies that we put on, a lot of people just kind of like shrug it off when we've actually worked really hard on what we do. And so really just showing them that that you know ASB plays a huge part in like especially pushing for that school spirit that we want.
I mean, our ASB class, like, we're hungry for a change, and we're going to work every day until that change happens.
What are your plans to advertise more and get your word out more often? Kind of like what Greg had mentioned with more advertisements and such.
I think posters for us only do so much because people are only going to look at so many posters, but something that we've noticed is that when we do posters and if they're all like uniformed, they get noticed a little bit more, like, oh, this poster looks the same as that one. They're going to notice it more and want to kind of being more engaged and like look into like what this poster is about. And I think we're starting to be more active on our ASB Instagram, which I know most and many kids are on. So just kind of having updates on that for kids to look at is a big thing.
I think we just gotta get like creative with our advertisement, because yeah, there's posters and there's the Instagram, but some kids they might not have Instagram, or some kids, you know, they're kind of just to themselves in the hallways, they don't really look around. So maybe just like have every teacher at the start of the day just announce their first period, a little reminder, or just like send out a weekly email of stuff that's going on for ASB.
We're definitely going to be focusing more on flushing out the ideas verbally. And so even with the kids who don't have social media, or maybe some people who ignore the posters, I think that once the ideas get approved and like talked about in ASB, we should have more people actually going out and spreading the word to the student body, and I think that'll be very beneficial.
Same topic on advertising. I think you guys do a great job. You have a great platform to spread any like school-related topic you guys want. So working with you guys next year, I think, would be like beneficial to us.
So kind of changing subject, how do you guys work on addressing students' voices and really assuring that they are both heard and accounted for?
I think that that's definitely something we need to work on, is especially connecting ASB ideas with the student body, because we get feedback, but from only certain like friend groups, from certain like sources of maybe people who have connections inside ASB. But one of the things that we need to work on is actually going out and really connecting with a majority of the student body and hearing their ideas from what they want to see from us, because we kind of have that like position of like a little bit more authority, just like really hearing what they want to see out of ASB's like approval and changes.
Really talking and addressing the student body and making sure that they are heard, because that's something ASB wants to work on. Just kind of talking with like everybody, making sure that everyone's heard and the things that they want to see around River are happening, and like we can try and like talk to them about why we can't make it happen if that's something that is going on. Pushing for upperclassmen engagement, I know I mentioned that before, but it really is on the upperclassmen to lead by example. I mean, even if we don't notice it, like the underclassmen are looking up to us as older people and going off of like our attitudes towards ASB, towards dances, towards spirit days to like bring that spirit. And I think that if like upperclassmen are held accountable, there will be more engagement overall, and we would see that spirit rise around River.
How do you plan on holding those upperclassmen accountable and making sure that they do show out for those that need it?
I think there are a decent amount of seniors in our ASB class, so us alone, I think it won't make a huge impact, but because we are trying and people see that, it'll affect like a ripple effect. It'll affect other people. They're going to see that we're trying, and so they're also going to want to try and like get their friends to try. So that'll hopefully like snowball into like something bigger, so that we do see that spirit.
Like Evelyn said, like snowballing into the bigger picture, but working with admin more is going to help our events, and the better our events are is going to get more people roped into the greater idea that we have for ASB.
Yeah. Definitely focusing on that communication to spread out like all of our ideas on how to get more engagement, and working with like CRTV and admin is definitely like a great priority of ours.
So do you guys have any limitations with your strategies, and how do you plan on overcoming them?
I think a big limitation is just the attitude of the student body, because we can only do so much as an ASB class. We can push out all the spirit days and all the spirit assemblies you want, but if we don't have that engagement from our student body, it can only happen so many more times before the admin like sees how it's going and says no. So I think like as a student body, we just need a better attitude towards ASB. I think there's a general consensus that like people are not necessarily happy with some of the stuff we put out or think we can do better, but ASB isn't as easy as it seems. Like everything goes through a process. It has to get approved, like it has to be safe, inclusive, everything like that. So I think just kind of not just cutting us some slack basically, and like spirit days aren't stupid, participation isn't stupid. Like you need that participation to be fun, and like it will be fun when there is participation. So
yeah, it's definitely really frustrating to have people not take ASB seriously, and especially the people that want to join it just to take it as like an easy class or an easy A. They don't help us at all. And it's super frustrating to see people wanting to join it just to like slack off and not actually help our school, which is the reason for ASB. And so I think we need to cut some more like, we need to be more rigorous on those standards in ASB, and having people actually who want to see a change in the environment like join.
You guys have mentioned admin a few times. Have you guys had any struggles with that? And if you have, are there any ways that you guys want to try to improve that relationship with our admin and make sure that everything goes smoother, one would say?
Past sports games, football games, there was problems with too much students in the student section. They had like these wristbands. I'm not completely sure. I don't want to get into it right now, but and also just some of the things they allow us to do at assemblies and other things. And we're all working together to increase spirit. Like the admin want the best, and we also want the best. I think next year we're going to definitely focus on communicating with them and just valuing our time.
Mm-hmm. I think there's definitely a difference between the expectations of the student body and the expectations of admin, because what ASB hears from the student body is they want spirit days and assembly games that the admin doesn't necessarily approve of. They may think that they're like not inclusive enough, or they might be a little bit too dangerous for that, but that's what the student body perceives as fun. And so I think we really need to find a middle ground between what the student body wants and what admin is going to allow.
Communication is a big thing for us next year. Just all being on the same page. I mean, CRTV, our admin, ASB, we're all trying to reach out to the student body, bring spirit back. We want school and like our spirit days and dances to be fun and enjoyable for everybody. So just clear communication so we're all on the same page of everything, and so that we can make the best of our experiences for everybody.
Do you guys have any strategies to reach that middle ground between what students perceive as fun and what admin perceives as too dangerous or not suitable for school?
I definitely think that in the past there's been situations where we've brought up ideas and the admin just immediately shoot it down, and because they just have ideas on how it's going to go this one way and how they just fear the worst. And so I think that we actually need to work on like breaking down on how things are going to go specifically and how they can trust us that we're going to make it safe. And you know, they're always thinking that we're just going to let stuff happen if like a event or if a assembly game goes wrong. But like, we have our priorities and we can stay on top of that. And I think we just need to build up that bond so they will allow us to do more of what the student body wants.
I know that Execs Council has talked about with Mr. Duncan is kind of sitting down monthly, having more meetings with admin just so we can be on the same page. As well as like discuss those the limitations and expectations of students and admin of like where we can meet on that and what we can agree on. So I think that will help a lot next year for clearer communication, as well as like what the students can expect from admin and how they should behave, as well as how admin should like treat students.
So something about the assemblies that many students have noticed is that sometimes the speakers aren't very high quality, and it's very, very hard to hear those leading the assembly. Do you guys have any strategies on fixing that, making possibly the assemblies more, you know, having more spirit?
I think that more run-throughs before assemblies, like that's something we could put emphasis on, being more organized, which Greg is definitely going to help us with that, our creative captain.
Oh, yeah.
Greg, do you
to
have
make
any?
sure that sound quality will be a priority.
Well, do you guys have anything else that you would like to add, or any closing statements you would like to just get out into the public?
The biggest thing is we all want to have make the most of our high school experience. We all want it to be fun. And I think it can be, as long as we are all trying to and move towards the same goal of like bringing better spirit, making sure everyone's included and feels heard. I mean, Joey and I are going into our senior year, and so we will try our best to make it the most fun that we've seen at River, and we're going to try to leave a good path for the grades below us and just bring the spirit back.
I definitely think we want to spread the message to the student body that it is good and it's cool and it's okay to engage in your school and have that participation, and we really just want people to know that it'll make your experience 10 times better if you help us with improving that spirit and engagement.
COVID was a definite limitation and holdback for all of us, so coming back from that, I mean, none of us were in high school when COVID happened, so we're all kind of adapting and learning to grow into what spirit used to be. So kind of just a slow climb towards bringing spirit back.
I mean, yeah, spirit is just the biggest emphasis for us. We want to make sure high school is the greatest experience it can be here at River. Everyone wants to be happy here at River, not, oh, I want to go here instead, oh, I want to go here instead.
Yeah.
We want River to be your number one option.
That is our show for this week. Election Day is this Friday, May 2nd. We'll have continuing coverage on CR This Week and results on Monday for our last episode of CR This Morning. Stay tuned for that. I'm Elijah Garon. Co-moderator Emmy McGill will be here for our next episode to tackle rising vandalism in our school and state. As always, the conversation continues because here at CR News, the Rapids Report.
Hey Rapids, thanks for helping us reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the CRTV YouTube channel to support content for and by CR students. Thanks for watching.